everybody, welcome to the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel, and I'm Jared. Today we're doing a special preview review of a Kickstarter delivered special custom dice that can be used in any of your games, but these are unique not only in their shape, but they're themed. There's 4 that I'm going to take a look at. The newest one is the Cleric Set, which we'll take a look at first. They're called PolyHero Dice from Tabletop Tycoon, and I wanted to take a look and see if we can test some of these out and kind of give my thoughts on what these look like and how they roll. So if you are really into dice, this is probably the video for you, or if you're in the market, or if you're heavy into TTRPGs and you do a lot of role-playing and dice rolls, these are some that you're going to want to definitely take a look at because they're not standard. They're really cool. So up first, I'm going to take a look at the Cleric Set. There are 8 pieces. This is in their Verdant Viridian. All right. So, I think uniquely first, we've got these 2 here that have kind of this odd shape to them. They're kind of like a star, but like a shell maybe, like a clamshell type thing. I believe this is a D10. And let's try to roll it. So up comes on top, that's the 5. Roll it again, that's a 7. There's a 6. Perfect. So they kind of pop up like this, so you can see which number is being rolled. And it goes both sides here as it's rolled. Ta-da! And they're large, chunky. All of these things are very large, very chunky. This is like Thor's hammer kind of thing. And it is a D4. I don't think you'll ever have it land on its top, right? And so, basically when it rolls, you'll have it on one side up, one side down kind of thing. So let's take a look. That's a 4, 2, 4. Let's try from high. Oop, fell right off. 2. So you can see the numbers there, and because of the way it's built, it's always going to pop up one or the other. But it's cool. It's a little nice, cute D4. I like that one. Here we have kind of a goblet, right? And this is a D12. And so it has a flat top. So I guess if it landed on its top or bottom somehow, you'd have to re-roll. But most likely it's going to roll and just land on its side, and then whichever number is on the top. So you could just like spin it around like that. That's a 7. You know. That's 8. So it does a pretty nice job of being functional and being cool. And yeah, it works. It's nice. Looks cool on the table. You can just set it there in front of you. We have this one, which is kind of like a jar, maybe a healing flask. So this appears to be a D8. 8 sides to this thing. There's a small flat part here that it can stand up, but I also, once you're rolling it, I don't think it's ever going to be able to like land like that. And of course it has a little top there. You could probably spin it if you wanted, or just roll it. It likes to roll far. But yeah, then it just shows you on the top which number is being rolled out of 8. Very cool. This one's like a hammer, or not a hammer, but almost like a mace, a type of mace. This would be a D6, so instead of rolling your regular 6-sided dice, you could just chunk this on the table. There's a 1, 3. Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool. In general, I think using these, when they don't expect it, just pulling them out and be like, I think I'll just roll this, and then seeing their reaction would be fun. So I think this is a D20, D25 maybe, D20. Let me see if I can find... It's the highest number on here. 18. Yeah. So these 2 here, there's 2 D20s often rolled for health and all sorts of checks in your D&D type stuff. But yeah, these roll rather nicely. And of course one side, and then it chooses this side or that side, and then you see the number on top is the one you roll. Ta-da! So that is the Cleric Set. These are all really, thick, chunky plastic. They're heavy, but they're not like metal heavy. They're like thick plastic heavy. So overall, I like it. It works good. Green, I think, is also one of my preferred colors. So next up, one of their popular sets here. This is the 8-piece Wizard set in Ether Mist color. So if you're role-playing as a wizard, this might be the set to consider. So over here, you've got a wizard-esque type of D20. There's 2 of them. Similar in shape to the one you're normally used to seeing, but they have this kind of design pattern on the way that it's drawn out on the edges. Works just fine to roll. Satisfying. And the numbers, printed in black, they pop out just fine. You can kind of read them enough. No problem there. Easy to read. This one, which kind of reminds me of like a rolling pin, but I believe it's probably like a scroll of some sort for the wizard to have his spells on. So it has different sides for the different numbers. Here you go. And this one is a D8. I see 6. Yeah, 8-sided right there. We have like a little potion. This looks to be 9, 10 sides. And they put a 0 instead of a 10, but it's 10 sides. So you can use a 0 as a 10 if you want. It has just enough of a flat bottom that it can stand upright. And otherwise you just toss it around and boom, 4. Perfect. This one's also kind of another potion type thing. Another D10. So you've got 2 versions of that kind of thing. You can see the difference here. 2 different ways to roll a D10. There's the 10. There's a 4. Then we have like a kind of a dagger type thing. Kind of pointed. It's a D4, 4 sides. Pretty easy. Roll it nicely. Perfect. Then we have like a probably either staff type thing or a wand, maybe. And it has a little bit of a point on this. You could potentially try to spin that. I don't know. Or just roll it. And they alternate the sides, so that's like 5, but then it's on the edge here, so it's like flip a little bit and then flip a little bit. So it goes back and forth on what number you'll end up seeing face up. Pretty cool. And this kind of reminds me of like a teardrop. So this could be any kind of liquid that you might use. But the numbers are kind of facing this way. So it could also just be like a magic bolt. So, but it's a D6. Here we go. Done. Always lands perfectly. So that is the Wizards set. Up next is the Warrior, the Steel Gray Warrior set. I like the color of this. I like the way that the orange numbers pop on this. These are rounded D20s. And actually, yeah. But they've got the spiked ball type thing, right? So weapon balls here. Roll those, and then pop up on top. You can see the number. There you go, there's a 20. Great. Actually, it's very functional. I like that. And the points not only stop it on a number very easily, but they slow it down so you don't have to worry about it rolling too far off the table. So far for D20s, I like these the best. They're satisfying. All right. Then these are like punch fists, all right? Because you're a warrior, super strong. So these are your arms, and there's a fist there at the end, and then numbers there on the sides. So 10-sided dice. They can roll around. On first glance, they kind of remind me of salt and pepper shakers. But when you look at them, they're like fists. Punch. We have a large and a small, like, dagger / greatsword, right? So a D4 and a D6. Functioning the same way, but larger for the D6 with more sides. Let's see how these 5 and 1, 3 and 3. Cool. But there's your regular D6 if you're gonna be the warrior. This one is a 8-sided die. Yep. And that's a very chunky type of mace, you know, that you'd be using as a warrior. You can hold that, beat someone with it. Rolls nicely. And easy to see the numbers. Very good. And then there's this one. I'm not sure how this one works out. I'll have to see if I can find out what they call this one. But there's how many numbers? 12. D12, yeah. I mean, it could try to land on the top, but it's a little rounded on the other side. So if it's, if it's trying to like flip, it'll always end up flipping, I think. Or you could just roll it like that. So, perfect. That is the warrior set of dice. Lastly, we'll take a look real quick here at the rogue set, and the color is Nightshade. So they're deep black color here. So there's the barrels for the rogue, carrying his stuff, explosion, perhaps. I don't think you'll actually get them to land on that side. It would be very difficult, but it's possible. As you can see, it's flipping over, but it's not ever going to want to land on it. So it's going to be tilted up or down, and then whichever number is face up. So they seem to be evenly weighted, which is important. Okay. So there's the barrels. Pretty cool. We've got this large sack. All right. 10-sided sack. The infinite bag. Kind of a rounded bottom there that you could stand it up, but when it has any motion, it'll rock over. So you get a nice roll there. Cool. And there's a little bit of detail there at the top that you might be able to tell, which is looks like coins. So it's like your bag of money. And I say that importantly because if this is your money, this is your bag of the what's-its, because it could be anything. But it's got like a rope around the bag, and just kind of looks like your typical sack of grain or something. All right. Yep, but it's another D10. So yeah, that rolls. Looks pretty good. Settles on a number. Pretty cool. And when not in use, these can all be like sitting, standing up, which is cool. We have a diamond type, like an actual cut diamond shape. Can't remember if that has a special name, but it's like a gem, right? So, how many numbers are on this one? 12? Yeah. So if I were to flip it, well, half the time it's going to land face down. So I think this is more of a top. You just kind of flick it. And then whichever one ends up standing upright, of course. So that would be a 7. Very interesting. Collecting loot. All right, we have this. I don't know, it's kind of a jar of some sort. Uniquely shaped. It's not like the other ones that we've seen. But it's a D6. Quick little roll. Works pretty well. Settles on a side. Here we have another one of the D4s, which is the dagger that some of these others had already had in their sets. If I were to compare this, they are different. You can see the wizard one and the warrior one, or the rogue one, sorry. And what's the other? So this is the warrior, this is the rogue. A little different, but functionally work the same as a D4. Okay, so even if they're the same color, you could potentially still see the difference. And then you have an arrow for you archers, right? It's 8, 9, no, is it 9? I think it's 8. 8-sided. Okay. And that's how that works. So that is all the PolyHero dice that I've received that I'm going to take a look at for you here on video. I'll try to get some zooms so that you can see how they look. I hope you enjoyed watching, and maybe check them out. Again, this is from Tabletop Tycoon, PolyHero Dice. I've been Jared from the Meeple Mentor YouTube channel. Stick around. We've got a lot of other cool videos, including a podcast, tutorials every other week, news, unboxings, so all that good stuff. Stay on the channel, and until the next one, I'll see you on the next video.